Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel. Look, I'll begin this video with a parable. Let's say now you have a guy, or let's say you have a woman who's an alcoholic, and she drives drunk often. She got into several car accidents. Now, what should happen? First, the authorities arrest her. They put her in detention. They take away her driver's license, and they tell her that if she doesn't want to face jail, she needs to admit that she has a problem with alcohol. She needs to take responsibility for not seeking help and allow things to escalate. She needs to face reality, who is enabling her addiction, and seek for help and deliverance. And she needs to cooperate with authorities to bring restitution to the people that suffered damage due to her behavior. If she doesn't, she will face 5 years prison time and she will get a criminal record. Now, anyone who looks at this case, who uses common sense or who's making sense, would say that's correct. Action should be taken. Nobody should be driving around drunk, causing harm to themselves and others. Sounds straight up, right? Okay, let's say now there's a terrorist group, and this group plans to commit some terrorist attack. Let's say this group is not in the country itself, but they are foreign. What should that government of the country do? The government of that country, let's say it's Spain, and they know that people from, let me say, somewhere in Northern Africa wants to commit attacks in Spain. The government of Spain should, they should make contact with the government of the country where terrorists are and should cooperate to prevent it from happening. They shouldn't wait until the terrorists are in their country and now they're going to find a way to deal with it. No. The government of Spain has a responsibility towards its citizens to keep them safe. So, both domestically and internationally, they ought to defend the interests of their citizens. That is what we expect. Now, why did I started about these things? Drunk driver, terrorists. Because in both cases, we know that action should be taken to guarantee safety. And in both cases, we demand that everyone cooperates and takes responsibility for their part so that safety is there. But when it comes to forgiveness, people, I don't want to say people are retarded, I don't want to say people are dumb, but when it comes to forgiveness, people often don't make sense. Yes, forgiveness is your attitude that Christ expects of you, because this attitude keeps you in line with Christ and prevents you from becoming bitter. Forgiveness enables you to move on. It frees you from the negative. So forgiveness is your natural obligation. However, forgiveness does not mean that you forget and deny what happened. Forgiveness implies that you acknowledge what happened. You look at the bigger picture to see what's going on and you acknowledge action must be taken. So you don't operate in the negative towards those that did something wrong to you or that harmed you, but you are not going to enable their wickedness. So if you have relatives that have narcissistically abused you, listen, you forgive them, but you do not associate with them anymore. And even if they come with apologies just to appease you so they can be at ease, look, you can accept the apology, but it doesn't mean that you reconcile with them. Because if they haven't really changed, if they haven't really sought for help, but they're only pretending, they're just using you again. And you're not going to enable that wickedness. Look, there are incidents that happen, okay, when people mess up. Whether it was under the influence of sickness or circumstances, people can mess up. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when people hold on to the negative. When someone holds on to negative, listen, such an individual only thinks about himself or about herself. They have no true regard for anyone else. Such an individual will only do what benefits their comfort. So yes, should you walk in forgiveness towards such an individual? You should, because you obey Christ. But you also obey Christ in all other aspects also. If they persist in the negative, you let them in the negative. Not because they have the right to be in the negative, but because you ought to be safe. Because you should not promote danger. Don't be involved with danger. The thing I often see, well, both in churches as in the world, not everywhere, but I see it often, is that people think, well, something bad happens, you just need to forgive them, forget about it, you can't change the past. Those are all facts, you can't change the past, all of that. But look at the bigger picture. Has action been taken? Okay, for example, that woman was drunk and drive. She can't undo all the times she caused accidents. She can't. Nobody can. But action should be taken so that there is safety. And look at this. Has action been taken? Is there any progression towards real safety? So that real healing and recovery can happen? If there is not, then acknowledge it. You walk in forgiveness towards everyone, but here's the thing. You can't reconcile with everyone. I understand that people want to be able to get along. I understand that people don't want strife around them all the time. That's understandable that people ought to operate in a civil manner. But operating in a civil manner does not imply ignoring danger. Look, if you, for example, have an uncle that has been negative about you behind your back and keep having this negative will, and you tell your parents that you don't want to be around that uncle of yours, but yet they have a birthday party and they invite that uncle and they expect you to be there as family, what has happened? They are sacrificing your safety just to keep their illusion of being a family, or they want their comfort as a so-called family more than your safety. They are violating you. It's not that you are out of your mind and just have a negative opinion of your uncle. If that was the case, you should repent. But in this case, you realize obviously that something isn't right with that man, and that man may even have a negative intention towards you, but they ignore it just because their comfort is more important than your safety. When this happens, this is a big red flag. What do? I don't care if they're your parents. They shouldn't agree the negative upon you, and they shouldn't enable evil anyway. So don't listen to church that tell you honor your mother and father, so give them the right to have that influence upon you. No, they shouldn't have any influence upon you. They should have a place of authority upon you if they agree with the negative. So yes, do you operate in forgiveness? Yes, in this case, towards that uncle and towards your parents. However, that does not imply that you reconcile with them by ignoring reality. That being said, agree with Christ. Be at peace.